Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So today we're going to be going over Creator Clash 3 and its slow-moving demise. We're going to look at the many different changes happening with this event, as well as some more people dropping out of the event. And also we're going to end up looking at some of the financial details that have been leaked about this event. They've been shared. We now know the amount of profit sharing that Ian and his wife Anisa were going to take for this event. And it's pretty crazy. We'll get into that in just a second. So let's talk about some of the changes of this content creator boxing match that was created by Idubbbz and his wife. Creator Clash 3 has now been postponed and relocated. Originally, it was supposed to be in this month and in Florida. It is now delayed to October 25th, and it's now going to be in Los Angeles. And honestly, that's the best move we're going to go over today, because what else could they have done? At this point, with weeks to go, they're missing several fighters. They have to fill up those slots. They have low ticket sales. They have terrible PR. There's pretty much no saving the event as it stood up until these changes. And this postponement at least gives them some time to begin to figure things out. Now, the other thing that's interesting about this, I think another strategic move, is that it's going to take place about a week after TwitchCon, which is also going to be in Los Angeles. So basically, I guess they're hoping that people will stick around after that event. It might help out with more ticket sales, more people being able to participate, and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of the logistical changes here. But of course, there's a lot more to go over. And they released a transparency Q&A where they're sharing some of the details, including the event being postponed and moved. And they also talk about ticket refunds, which has been a big topic of conversation. It appears that all in-person ticket holders will receive a full refund through Ticketmaster. That's really the only thing they could have done. There was no way they could have held on to that stuff. They would have actually found themselves in some legal trouble. But here's the part that I think is kind of odd. The pay-per-view tickets will be honored for the new date, and if you want a refund, you have to make an actual request yourself. And I think they should have just refunded that too, because yes, it is a digital ticket. It's for a pay-per-view ability to watch this event. But the thing has changed so much. The event has had so many changes, including a new venue, also a lot of the fighters dropping out, including two of the main headliners. As it turns out, LA Beast has also dropped out, just like Harley Morenstein, citing drama surrounding this event as one of the reasons why he's no longer going to box in Creator Clash 3. And if you look at some of the matches, the matchups here, the title card fight is blank. Both Harley and LA Beast have dropped out. So the biggest match is to be determined. So I think, again, with the pay-per-view tickets, things have changed so much that they should have just refunded that too. And we also see some other comments from the other participants, like this Sapnap individual, who is sharing what a lot of these boxers are sharing on social media. And that's just being in the dark about everything. Right, he's just straight up saying, like, yeah, I don't know any more than you guys do as the potential viewers of this event. And also, you have to keep in mind, when an event like this is delayed months, that means months more of training. Now, this guy had a good attitude about it. He's like, basically, I like fighting, so another couple months of training, I'm down. But for other people, this might have been just a one-time event that they wanted to have scheduled and move past, or they wanted to help out in some way with some charitable aspects or something like that. And now they find themselves essentially tied to this event for another couple of months, which includes months of training, and they might not want to do that. On top of that, let's look at some of the more Q&A here, and there's something very interesting here. Number one, they make it very clear that the way the charity is going to interact with this event is all going to be through Tiltify, which is essentially a third party for charities that they work as kind of the middleman between you and the desired charity. In this case, it is Stand Up to Cancer. So in this case, the only way there's going to be charity provided for this event is if people go to the Tiltify and directly donate to the charity. So nothing about the event itself, not the ticket sales, nothing like that happening in the physical event will have any impact on charity, which is a big departure from the impression a lot of people were given on this event, and it's very strange. Now, the really crazy thing that I hinted at earlier in this video is what most people are talking about. Ian and his wife Anisa have dropped out entirely. They didn't just step down from the owner role, they've completely walked away and given away their shares to the fighters, and which, great for them, they're going to make more money. But in this, we learned a couple of things. Number one, Ian and Anisa had a 34% profit share for Creator Clash 3, which is insane, by the way. That is crazy for a charity event, or one that was being masqueraded as a charity event. Also, if you look at the other information here, 20% of the net profits were going to be split among the fighters. Now again, the 34% profit share from Ian and Anisa is now going to be dumped into that, but originally it was supposed to be 20% net profits for the actual fighters, the guys going in the ring and getting punched in the face, and a 34% profit share for Ian and Anisa, which is a crazy disparity for this event, and something that people are questioning, because if this event clearly wasn't about charity, there's no interwoven charity mechanism here. It's only through these extra donations through Tiltify. The event itself clearly was for profit, and they had a big stake in it. And I bring up the 34% again because think about it. Ian had a massive financial interest in the success of Creator Clash 3, because if it did succeed, he stood to earn a lot of money. On top of that, think about just the pride, right? It's his event. Of course, he wants it to succeed. But then we look at the actions, and he really didn't put a lot of effort into properly promoting this event. His biggest promotions for it were in his content cop and content deputy on H3, which created all kinds of bad will, and a lot of people saw that behavior and what was in those videos and said, yeah, no thanks on the Creator Clash 3 part of the video. But Idubbbz would clarify something else that people were starting to wonder. If he got a 34% profit share, him and his wife, for the third one, what about the other ones? So he would clarify this on Reddit, and you can see it has more comments than upvotes. It's not going over great, but he says this: I want to clear some things up now that Anisa and I are no longer part of Creator Clash. When I announced Creator Clash 3 and its new business model, the communication wasn't clear. Looking back on my video and the current reaction, it's obvious it was too vague. It remains true that I earned a fight purse for CC1 along with the other fighters, and we did not profit at all from CC2. After CC2 failed to raise any money for charity, we knew it was time for a different business model. We restructured so that the funds for our charity partner would be raised on Tiltify separate and apart from the actual event. We then decided that this year we would take a profit share from the for-profit side of the event should the for-profit side of the event succeed. I feel sorry for any confusion Anisa and I have caused. We know the event is in good hands now, and we wish it all the success. Now, other people have pointed this out on Twitter. So he clarified in the first Creator Clash, he got a bag for the fight, or he got a purse for the fight. And also people like Froggy Fresh, who was supposed to be in the second Creator Clash, but was booted after getting into drama with Ian and his wife Anisa. Shocking, I know. But he would say, like, what happened with Creator Clash 1? Was there also a profit share that you guys had? They don't really make it clear. They don't really address it. And people have done the math, because we know the amount of money that went to charity. You can kind of line it up with some of the percentages. And people have discovered that if they had that share that they had for Creator Clash 3, but in the first one, they would have made almost $1 million from Creator Clash 1. And if that's true, compare that to the $1.3 million they gave the charity, it starts getting very messy. But we don't know that for sure. We don't know if they had a profit share in that one too, but it's just something people are starting to point out and wonder about. And also, a lot of people, including Ethan Klein, who's been dealing with Idubbbz and his gaggle of friends who are attacking him recently, he's been having a lot of fun relishing in this whole situation, posting 34% with this caption and the video here.
What really made me mad about boxing events in the past is that it's rich assholes betting their money to make money to like have people that are struggling to like make ends meet and pay rent watch them do it, and then they'll go home and like have a lot of money.
And the fighters are exploited too, like usually.
I think what really made me mad about
that didn't age very well, but of course people are running to the defense of Idubbbz and Anisa despite everything. You see Hassan orbiters like Sean DeBlack, who's coming out and trying to say that Ethan Klein torpedoed a charity event, Creator Clash 3. They're still using the charity aspect as a shield despite all of this being revealed.
Like, why would you not talk about the people and this is crazy, this would not apply to anywhere else. This would not apply anywhere else. Anywhere else. Only applies to Ethan. Ethan is the only person who gets a pass for torpedoing his own admission, torpedoing a charity event. Why are we giving Ethan a pass for saying he wants the charity event to fail, effectively getting the charity event to fail and to postpone, and for the original creators to divest from it? I feel like, and this is weird, right? I feel like that's shit Ludwig would talk about. If any other creator made it their mission to be like, there's a charity event going on, I'm going to fucking torpedo it. I'm going to make it my fucking mission to make sure that event fails. I feel like that would be a little bit of something that like people would talk about. But no, for some reason, everybody wants to talk about how bad and mean Idubbbz is for responding to Ethan Klein.
Again, still using charity as a shield. This doesn't work. Creator Clash 1 had a successful charitable aspect to it. Creator Clash 2 was not a charity event. By definition, they didn't raise anything for charity directly through the event itself. And now looking at Creator Clash 3, again, there's a very clear for-profit motivation, and the charitable aspects are all voluntary through a third party with Tiltify. These are not charity events anymore. It's completely devolved away from just that to what it is now. And people are realizing that this event that was constantly propped up as a charity event was never designed to be that way, at least in terms of Creator Clash 3. And then you see the blame on Ethan Klein for torpedoing a charity event. Besides using charity as a shield, it's also ridiculous because who killed Creator Clash 2? Was that Ethan Klein's fault too? And when you think about Creator Clash 3, the only person that can be blamed for the disaster that it's turned out to be is Idubbbz. And the fact that he decided to make these series of videos on H3 so close to the event itself, they backfired, and they're really the only two promotional attempts to boost this campaign, other than the first one where he just announced that Creator Clash 3 was happening. And of course, it all backfired because it was attached to a video that generated a lot of bad will among his viewers and just neutral observers as well. And you go to the videos itself, you could search hundreds of comments and you won't find anything about Creator Clash 3. All the people are doing in the comment section are either talking about the video, dunking on the video, or saying stuff like this with 42,000 likes. It's wild how a bunch of washed up American YouTubers made the Israel/Palestine crisis about themselves. And that one's brutal, and I think that's totally correct. The fighters in this, the participants, have literally become a proxy war for Israel and Palestine. It's crazy when you really sit down and think about this stuff, and that's why people like LA Beast as well as Harley Morenstein walked away. They don't want to be a part of this dynamic that has been so damaging to the event and anyone participating in it. And of course, going further, there's more stuff coming out that is very interesting. So you can see the former Creator Clash commentator Wade said that he thought he was working for a charity event when he was doing it. He even turned down money that he was offered because he was like, hey, this is a charity event. You don't need to pay me. On top of that, I really like this clip because this is a guy who clearly is like catching up on the lore of everything that's been going on with the drama between Idubbbz, Ethan Klein, and all the related parties. And he's seeing these things, and as a normal response, he's just like, what is wrong with these people? Like, how is this happening, and how is this attached to this event? What a disaster.
It's a charity event. Stop telling people that, because it's not what it is. That was the whole issue with the lack of communication behind number 1 and 2. That it's a charity event, charity event, charity event. It's not a charity event. It's a boxing event that you are perpendicularly associating with a separate charity that has nothing to do with people buying the boxing event. I was a part of the event and didn't know any of this. I didn't know where money is going. Outside of the fact that I was offered and said, no, I'm all good on that. I want to be there to support, and because they gave me an opportunity, which I'll always be grateful for, but this side of stuff is very weird. Idubbbz's friend made a video on accusing Ethan Klein, H3H3, of abusing his kids. We're not even through the first fucking sentence, which many believe led to CPS coming to investigate his house and interview his kids. Ethan's son had the stomach flu, which Ethan had openly inquired was, I don't even know how to pronounce that word, a form of diarrhea. Just the first sentence. A friend made a video accusing H3, the guy we watched yesterday, of abusing his kids? What the fuck are we talking about? Idubbbz also collaborated with very far left content creators in his video about Ethan, which made many of the fighters on the card feel like participating in the event was an endorsement of those extreme beliefs. Supporting Hamas, saying America deserved 9/11. What the fuck?
We also got some takes from Ludwig, who was getting a lot of mixed results on his most recent video called Huge Creator Clash Drama, which is odd because this guy made a very big stink about not talking about drama anymore, especially when it involves people he knows, but I guess that kind of went out the window. But he's getting a lot of criticism from many different angles for this video where he is seemingly trying his best to defend Creator Clash 3. Yes, he does provide some criticism, but he pushes back very hard on certain things, like people trying to imply it was a scam. Now, here's the thing. You can get into the technicalities of the words here, but I think there's a very easy way to look at the situation and the sort of dynamic with the for-profit goals that Ian and Anisa had. If you presented that 34% and how the charity function is actually going to work, and you showed all this stuff, you're transparent from the start about Creator Clash 3, yes or no, would people be more or less likely to support this event? Do you think it would harm the events if people knew about this before they bought a ticket? I think the answer is yes. I think people would look at that dynamic and say, that's not exactly what's being portrayed publicly by a lot of people. This is supposed to be more about charity, and now it looks like it's not, and they have a very large stake in this financially. It's all just sounding kind of weird and greedy, and I don't think people would want to support it as openly if that was the case. So you have to ask yourself, at the very least, is there something misleading about this? And I think that's fair to say. And on top of that, he goes into this discussion where he's trying to rationalize why things have changed with the sort of dynamic of how the money is processed for this event. And I think this is a pretty huge cop-out.
Funding it through various sponsorships, but mostly ticket sales and...
So it was a scam? I feel like that has to be like the worst faith interpretation. I think if an event is successful and raises $1.3 million for charity on their first go around, their big plan isn't like, oh my God, and this next time we run it, we're going to make, money for ourselves. Now that we've raised the $1.3 million for charity, now we get to make some money of our own. You would just take the $1.3 million on the first go around. Like, 1.3 mil is a lot of money, bro. That's hella bread. So I feel like you're just not, if you're looking at it in a vacuum, yeah, I think you could call that a scam, but you're ignoring the context of the first one that was hella successful.
Yeah, I don't know why this is trying to run defense for Idubbbz, because I think it makes things look really bad. They're basically saying, oh, they saw this charity do really well in Creator Clash 1. Now they want a slice of the pie, and it's becoming more and more like a for-profit mission here, where the charity aspect is to the side and a lot less highlighted. I think that's not a very good look. I think it kind of exposes what it was really about for the last two, where there was a pursuit for money. And it didn't work out in Creator Clash 2, and who knows if it'll work out for Creator Clash 3, but everyone knows this is a giant disaster right now, and again, one of those people who knows it's a disaster is Ethan Klein, who made this post saying, my, look at the scumbags scuttle. It's always been a ruse to make money. They lied to us. They lied to you. This event was always meant to line their pockets. They're really trying to line their pockets with charity money from kids with cancer. You can't make this up, folks. And here's another post he made saying, I feel like people are still missing how bad this is. The event was structured to donate $0 to charity. The only money going to charity would need to be directly donated to the Tiltify campaign, which is a completely separate entity. 0% of ticket sales, pay-per-view, concession, merch, etc. would go to charity. It is quite literally a 100% for-profit event. Now, a lot of people have been seeing what Ian has said in his statements. What has Anisa had to say about this, despite all this very large controversy surrounding this event? Oh, never mind. Yep, so that's basically Creator Clash 3 in a nutshell. The people running this, they're trying to say that it's going to be an uphill battle. And also, I want to point out, some people have made this observation where they believe the sharing of the 34% profit margin, or the profit share that Ian and Anisa had, some people say that was shared as a way to make them look bad. Like they wanted to show to everyone, this is how it was set up before we got here and took over. Just want you guys to know about that. Because if I were the people running Creator Clash 3, I'd be pretty upset with how they have damaged this event clearly through their own actions. And now it's being passed off and they're trying to save it. And they're probably discovering all these things like those sort of profit shares. And they're like, wow, these people causing all the problems were also trying to profit this much from the events. Yeah, probably not a great feeling. But anyways, that's going to do for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.